Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about that Shell Trump photo op. Perfect example of the blending of corporate and state interests. The blending of corporate and state interests. That's a key element in a certain ideology we like to pretend isn't creeping into the United States at an ever-quickening pace, but it is. Everything inside the state. If you don't know what happened, some Shell contractors, they told their employees they had three choices. They could A, take paid time off. B, don't show up and don't get paid, but keep in mind they work on prefigured schedules, and those schedules include 56 hours. So that last day, that's overtime. For these people, we're talking about $700 that they could end up losing for some of them. And then the third option was to show up, get paid, to be a prop in a presidential campaign speech that you as a taxpayer are paying for. Those were the options. Now, how do we know that it wasn't really Trump showing up and a whole bunch of, working class guys gathering around and listening to the president? Well, in this case, we got the leaked memo. And it had everything in it about how they'd be bussed in and all of that stuff. But it also included some other interesting tidbits that I haven't really seen mentioned. Told them not to wear steel toes. Don't wear your work boots. But wear that high visibility clothing. You're not actually going to be doing any work. You don't need your safety gear, except for that shirt, so it looks like you're working class. Because you're a prop, nothing more. This is how corporations, large companies, repay their debt to the politicians. The ones that cut them deals and allow them to extract minerals and natural resources from taxpayer-owned land. This is how they do it. It's a trade. And this kind of propaganda creates the image that the government is working for the people, the working class. And that the working class supports the government. Neither of these is true. If you ask people what they think about the government, incompetent, inept, inefficient, whole bunch of stuff. But then, if you say, well, what about this politician? Oh, well, that one's going to save the world. Because they've got us trained. Red versus blue. Left versus right. R versus D. And that's how they get away with it. That's how they feather their own nest at the expense of the working class. When you really break it down, who runs this country? What professions? Politicians, lawyers, when you're talking about the entertainment side of things, the cultural side of things, producers, judges, bankers, lobbyists, and religious figures. That's who runs the country. Overall, how do you feel about those professions? Most of them are pretty scummy, right? I mean, let's be honest. And even some of the ones that you don't think of as scummy, well, they are. I mean, people seem to have a lot of respect for judges. What is a judge? A lawyer turned politician. That's what a judge is. So the idea that we should let this class of people, these professions, run our country, these are the people that are going to lead us, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. These are the people who can divide us. These are the people who can play us against each other. What we really need is a lot more bartenders, carpenters, plumbers, people like that in the House of Representatives, people that actually represent us. We need a little bit more working class unity. That's what this country needs. If we get that and we start talking to each other left and right as it is in the United States, you're going to realize you don't have much to separate you other than talking points. We can sit here and argue over what's best for the interests of other people, or we can start to seek that representative democracy we were promised. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.